To create the icon, the first thing you want to do when you get into Illustrator is you want to go to Window, and you want to make sure Application Frame is clicked on. That will allow you to move this. If for some reason your toolbar is out and when you're trying to move the screen that's not moving with it, another way to clean things up is to do Windows, Workspace, Essentials. It might click it all back. If this still stays out there, it's going to give you this longer toolbar again. You can hover over till it turns blue, and you can attach it back on. The reason you want to do this is that it's probably easier to have the instructions next to you while you're creating the document. You're going to do File, New. On here, it tells you to make it 800 in pixels and 800 by 600 document. And it also tells you that in the advanced mode it needs to be CMYK, it needs to be at a 72 DPI, and this needs to be unchecked. So if all those are there, you can click OK. Go ahead and title this Flat Icon Tutorial. That doesn't spell flat. Click OK. This is going to give you your artboard. The next thing it's telling you to do is to make a rounded rectangle. We're going to be using these shape tools a lot, so you want to tear them off. This is the little tear off bar. You can bring it up here. Something else we're going to be using a lot is the Pathfinder tool. So to prep your artboard and your workspace, you can go to Window, Pathfinder, and keep this out because you're going to need it. Thanks. Then it's asking you to make a rounded rectangle. And we want to make a rounded rectangle. We can click once, and it tells us the height. We want it 250 by 250. One thing it doesn't tell you is how rounded to make the corner radius. This one can be 40. Click OK. It also tells you what color to make it. So if you want to have a CMYK color, you can double click on the fill icon, and where it's C, you can put the same numbers that it has there. There's the color. We want to make sure that we don't have a stroke on anything that we're doing. So we're going to turn off the stroke, and then you're going to put the fill right back on top so that everything we're changing from there is going to be a fill color. The next thing that it asks you to do is to make a red pencil, or starting with the red pencil. It tells you to do 250 by, or 50 by 250. Now, if you notice, this was 250, this is not as long, so I'm not going to do it as long. I think that a little bit of mistake. I'm going to do 225, and I don't want the radius to be as curved. I want it to be a little bit less, especially when you shrink a rectangle. It makes it even more curvy, so you can think about that. I'm going to put in 15. I'm going to click OK, and it said to just make it a red, so I'm going to go to my CMYK swatches and click on red. I'm just going to move this where it had it. And it even looks like it could be a little bit shorter. You could bring that up a little bit shorter. You can just kind of eyeball. There's no specific way. Then it tells you to make a gray rectangle. It says for it to be 50 by 25. I'm going to make gray. Theirs is a little bit longer. You can make it to size. The reason that they do theirs longer is throughout the tutorial, sometimes you lose it because things come in front of it, and it's a little bit harder to select it to bring it to the front. So we're just going to bring out a little bit so we can select it later. Later on, if you need to change it, you'll have something called Transform that you can click on, or you might just have a WH in your toolbar, in your rectangle toolbar. You can change it there. The next thing that it's going to tell us to do is to make a square, a rounded rectangle, into a square. You hold Shift, any size you want is fine. You hold Shift, you get this, see the little, the mouse turned into like a little curvy mouse or arrow. You hold Shift, it rotates 45-degree angles. Click on Transform, it tells you to make it 50 by 80. Oops. And then you want to take this and line it up here. You're going to change to 50. So here's why. I have the constraints locked. I don't want that. I accidentally hit that. So if yours keeps changing back to a square, that's where you would know where that went wrong. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold the red pencil and the gray toolbar, and I'm going to do arrange, bring to front. I want to bring it to the front. I need to bring both to the front. If I just brought the red to the front, then the gray would stay behind. And then it's asking me to align these things. If a line is not showing, you can do window, align, and it will appear. Just going to align. Select this and align everything up. I can even bring that up a tiny bit. Then what it's asking you to do, we need to make the tip of the pencil, the lead part. So having you do a gray ellipse. Now this is the tricky part. This is like the theme of the entire tutorial, what's going to happen. I need to cut out this shape based off of this shape. In order to do it, I need to make a copy of it. If I just hold shift and select both, and I ask it to be, oops, wrong one, this way, I just get the tip of the pencil, but the gray goes away. I want the gray to stay there. So you click on it, and you do something that's called Edit, Copy, which is Command C, and Edit, Paste in Front. It looks like absolutely nothing happened. But if I move this, there's now 2, and it's going right in the spot where I need it to go. I'm going to hold Shift, because I need to cut out the gray circle part. This is now on the top because I did paste to front, and I click on intersect, and now I get the tip of the pencil. The next thing that it's asking you to do is to make these little scallops on, I'm just gonna copy this one for the pencil. And where you place these is kind of important. You can't make them too big or too small, then you won't see the curves. They had you do it in yellow. It's not that big of a deal what color you make it. What's going to happen is you're going to select all 3. Sometimes you have to enlarge your screen for your mouse to be able to get things a little easier. I'm going to bring this one up a little bit, make it a little bit bigger. And then you really want these to be pretty low. I'm going to take those 3, I'm going to click what's Unite. It turns it into one shape. It tells you to copy this. To do the Command C, Command F again, you don't need to do it for this one. That was a mistake. Just hold on to it and do minus, oops, wrong one, do minus front, and then it'll cut those shapes out. Grab the gray, bring to the front. So what a lot of people were having is it had you copy it and paste it, and then when you cut it out, you still just saw the whole pencil behind because you didn't need to keep the color behind, just like this one we needed to keep the color. We didn't need to keep the color behind on this one. Then the next thing that you're going to do is do a series of rectangles. And all that matters is that you line this rectangle up with this scallop. And I would say go ahead and just line it up with the gray. It tells you to do specific colors. Before I started this, I took a screenshot of the colors so that I could easily just place it down and eyedrop them. That way I don't have to go through, put in the CMYK. If I was printing this, I would put in the exact CMYK because I would know that the company wanted me to have it that color. Change it to that color with the eyedropper. I need to make it the shape of this scallop. So I do the Command C, Command F. It's already highlighted. I'm not going to click off anything because I'm going to lose where I'm at. I hold Shift. I'm going to select my rectangle, and I am going to do intersect. It gives me the shape. I'm going to do another rectangle. I'm going to line this up with that scallop. I'm going to eyedrop the darker color, is what it's asking me to do. Make sure that this intersects with the top. I'm going to double check that that's right where I want it to be. I have to click on the original red pencil again, Command C, Command F. It's already selected. Hold Shift, select that rectangle, intersect it out. So now we have our 3 areas that makes it look like the rounded pencil. Now it's time to change, well, not yet, we don't have to. Then it's asking you to make a purple, sorry, not that. We'll get down to where we're going. the tip of the pencil. Tells you to make a rectangle over the upper part of the pencil. And it said to turn it to this purple. Again, you can guess. You copy and paste that shape. And then we have to, is it minus? Nope, intersect. Then you have that shape there. So you keep just using this basic shape of the pencil with the Command C, Command F, because you keep needing to get a new cookie cutter to keep cutting over and over and over and over to keep cutting out all those shapes, if that kind of makes sense. This now I'm going to change, I'm going to transform it. I'm going to make sure that this is 50 now. I'm going to get it back to the right. Now you can kind of see the outline of the pencil a little bit. I can't line it up perfectly, so I'm going to try to do 50.5. And that's just me eyeballing it because I don't want to see that outside of the red. So now we have our pencil. After that, we want to make this darker shadow. It's called a long shadow. So from the tip of the pencil, I'm going to make a rectangle. I'm going to eyedrop it this green color. It also looks like this purple color is supposed to be blue in the long run. There's that. It asks me to arrange this to go to the back, but if I set it all the way to the back, it's going to go behind this green. So I'm going to select both. I want to select both to the back because then it's going to take, if I want that layer to be in the back, I need it to be all the way in the back because that's what goes there. If I just did this one, it would have been all the way to the back and we would have been in the same situation of having to send another one. So I just like to do it all at the same time. Then to group stuff quickly, I'm going to click and drag over all of this. And then I'm going to hold shift and just deselect the thing in the background. It's going to make it way easier to just select all these things. I'm going to do object. I'm going to group it. I'm going to hold shift. I'm going to find that little corner arrow again and turn it at 45-degree angles. I'm going to put it where I want it to go on my rounded square. I'm going to ungroup this. I'm going to select the square because I got to cut out that shape, right? I'm going to do the Command C, Command F again. I'm going to highlight just that green square, and I am going to do, I think, minus front. That work? Nope. There we go. Intersect. And there you have your pencil. To turn it in, click here and drag. I want to see all of the parts selected so that I know it's yours and you just didn't copy and paste a screenshot off of the website. Then you do Command-Shift-4 to take a screenshot. Do it pretty tightly so it's just like the little square. And then go ahead and unselect stuff and do a Command-Shift-4 again and take a screenshot, a clean screenshot. You're going to post both of those screenshots to one blog post is how you're going to turn it in.